New Yorkers are getting more things delivered than ever before. 2.4 million packages delivered to the city every day. This week, Manhattan Borough President Mark Levine unveiled a proposal to change the way deliveries work to try to reduce the congestion caused by the delivery trucks and by the packages themselves. The borough president says he's fed up with scenes like this. Trucks double parking, often their engines idling, sorting the boxes on the sidewalk, on the street, in the bus stops, in the bike lanes. Some of the proposed solutions include allowing parking garages to be used for unloading and package sorting. He also suggests the city make it legal to use larger electric cargo bikes on city streets. The plan also calls for bringing curbside loading zones to every residential neighborhood. And under the future congestion pricing program, there could be a benefit to using smaller trucks so that they would pay less money to enter rather than the biggest trucks. Borough President Mark Levine with us in the studio this morning. Good to have you here.
Great to see you, Pat and Jamie.
What we're mostly talking about here is what they call the last mile in the logistics business. They've got the stuff on the truck. They have to get it closer to the home and get it into the hands of the people who will ultimately walk it door to door. And it has just exploded in the last, let's say, 10 years.
Even the last 2.5 years, it's almost doubled since the pandemic. And it's really out of control at this point. Essentially, the delivery companies are using sidewalks and streets as fulfillment centers to do the unloading and the sorting and the packing. And it's disrupting sidewalks and bike lanes and bus lanes and traffic. We have to do better.
Right, and it's not the designated use of the public space.
Not at all.
But it feels almost like we're looking at them as if it's their fault. It's not their fault that everyone has all of a sudden come to a lifestyle where we order everything.
Right, but every other private business does its warehouse work in a warehouse that they paid for. Not like the Fresh Direct trucks on the street where the guys are all shuffling.
I'm not saying they're innocent. I'm just saying something's got to be done bigger picture at the infrastructure instead of thinking, oh, people are just getting more deliveries now.
We can't do that. We need to do that.
Yeah.
E-commerce is not going away.
Right.
People are going to order toothbrushes online for the foreseeable future. But we can first create dedicated delivery next to the curb in every neighborhood so there's no more double parking. We can get all that fulfillment operation off the street and sidewalk and allow them to do it inside parking garages. We can substitute heavy polluting trucks for more environmental, human-powered e-cargo bikes. We can even use the waterfront and bring bikes preloaded on a barge that can then go to their neighborhood without...
I mean, all this sounds so reasonable. Like, do you have the support for it?
We're getting incredible support from all levels of government. This is complicated. Some of it can be done by the city's Department of Transportation. Some's going to require legal changes at the city and state level. We can do this. We have to do better. We have to rein in the chaos.
See, it's like so many things, though. There are people in New York who just want things to stay the way they always were, no matter whether that's the best way to do things now. And once again, there's a lot of these things come down to the people who believe that the only use of the curb is for parking of private vehicles. Look at these loading zones. They introduced the neighborhood loading zone program. I think it was a pilot basis. There's a few of them kicking around here. It's very rare that you see the neighborhood loading zone being used by someone who is actively loading and unloading a vehicle. It's just another parking spot.
Well, there's got to be enforcement of those loading zones. And you could use automated systems, cameras, to ensure that they are left open for the trucks that are delivering. And there needs to be more. There's many neighborhoods that have no curbside loading zones.
Do you like this idea that's coming up in various forms? It exists already for idling vehicles, that there's citizen enforcement. If the NYPD doesn't do it, people walk around with their camera phones, they take a video, they submit it, they get a bounty for every video they submit. There's been a lot of talk about, do we do that for bike lanes? Do we do that for double parking?
It's been very successful. It's generated revenue for the city, and it's reduced idling, more importantly. It's uniquely doable for idling. I think it's harder for some of the other uses that you described. But certainly for parking in designated areas like delivery zones, cameras really are an appropriate solution, and they should be implemented.
But and to flip that around, though, for the truck drivers, I mean, you got a load of stuff you got to drop off on West 76th Street. if there is no curbside space, if the
That's
parking
what I'm
meters are
saying.
all full,
It's not their fault that space is so limited. They're doing what they can with what they're given.
Let's give them more. Let's give them space to unload. Let's give them access to garages. Let's give them the ability to have e-cargo bikes with charging and wider. The rules right now for e-cargo bikes limit their width. Let's allow them to go a full 48 inches. These are policy changes we can make. Let's be creative. How about lockers curbside where you can pick up your package so that instead of 100 deliveries all over the neighborhood, the truck just has to put them into one
spot.
facility.
Yeah.
Yes.
it's good to get the conversation going. It's not instant fixes here, but
like he said, you're only going to order more and more and more. You're not all of a sudden gonna stop.
yeah. Mark Levine, thank you for being here.
You got it. We're going to fix this for you guys. Don't worry.
Really?
We got it. We got it.